What up guys, it's Pie, back with another video. This time we're talking about my regional deck of last Saturday, which was the Naunburg regional, or whatever the city name is pronounced. It was in Germany. It was a 250 player event. I don't even know, we played 8 rounds, so that's it. I played Dracotail Fiendsmith K9, so nice deck, I will show it to you. The deck concept is pretty known, like playing Dracotail and K9 cards and maybe Fiendsmith Engine. But the ratios are totally different, and I'm kind of proud of the deck. Like, I feel like it performed really good. The weekend was really unfortunate. There were a lot of unlucky games like double Perulia, double Izuna against Yami when they open Obedient School Engage and so on. So unfortunately, it wasn't my weekend. I could have done better, maybe. There was maybe one game I could have won. But the other things were pretty unlucky. But getting into the deck, I will show you, or I will tell you my matchup spread. I played against one Pure Mitsurugi, which I lost, unfortunately, but that was also really unlucky. I played against one Crystron K9, and I played against 6 Yummies. I was assuming Yummy is my worst matchup for the deck. Luckily, I went 4-2 against the Yummy, so that was fine, I guess. But Yummy is still like not the preferred matchup because of the K9 cards. But for what it's worth, I guess it's a good performance. So getting into the Dracotail cards, you have the 12 starters, which are Lucias, Mululu, and the spells. One thing to note, Mululu is like the worst one of them all. If I could, I would cut it down, but to be quite honest, like, you still need the starters, so there's no possibility of cutting it down, unless you want to play less Feymanas. I was testing a version of playing one Mululu and only one Feymana, which also felt fine, but I kind of wanted the Feymana to keep extending. Like, if I already open it, plus another Dracotail, I have another hand trap, which was easier to keep up the consistency and the hand trap count at the same time, because if you cut it down, you're either missing consistency or the hand trap count, so just maxing out the Feymana, which I know seems obvious, but I feel like there's a lot of thought put into it, even though it, as mentioned, is kind of obvious. And then for the other Dracotail cards, we're playing one Urgula, one Pan, and one Flame. Only one trap in the main deck because I'm playing other engines. My board is stronger than the usual Dracotail board, so I don't need all the traps. Of course, I'm siding the other, but for now, one trap. Of course, rares are superior to super rares. Change my mind. And I'm only playing one Pan because you don't max out on all the Dracotail cards, or like it's another side engine to fuse with. Like, if you play pure Dracotail, or like pure, you're playing another engine, but it's usually a small engine which lets you fuse, and then you max out the Pan. But for this deck, sadly, you cannot max it out, even though I love this card. Also, shoutouts to Paul. If you know, you know. Other engine. Fiendsmith. I cut down the package. This one will be OTS Ulti, OTS 28, mark my words, hopefully. I cut down the engine. I was playing the trap in the main deck, and I was playing a second engraver for the more brutal combos where you can use Caesar and Desiree in the same combo. But that's only if you open engraver or open Lacrima in another play, which does not happen all too often. And I felt like if I'm missing the trap game 1, it's totally fine, because I rather lose game 1 if I miss something, like in some bizarre scenarios, instead of opening the card going second, and right now the trap is not that good going second. So I opted for the small package, but big enough to not brick on these cards, because I feel like if I'm playing Engraver and I brick on it, it feels really stupid, because the card is so good going second. Like, if you're playing against Yummy, just normal summoning Alluri always forces the book, normal summoning Lacrima almost does the same thing, and like activating Engraver just pushes the board so good, and you can remove stuff, you can make Desiree, like you have an actual grind game. So as small as it needs to be, but as big as possible. Then we're playing a K9 package, which is rather unusual, I would like to say. Getting the 3rd Starlight soon. You can maybe cut down on one Izuna, just so it's better for Yummy. If there's a lot of Yummy, I'm not expecting to play against as much Yummies, but maybe that's something to cut down on. The star of the show is triple case, with only one Draco and Lantern, which are kind of engine requirements, but not really. They are fine to draw, especially with Dracotail. Like, you can fuse any monster, so which is a stupid argument, but it works. And triple case is essentially called by the grave for the deck, because no matter where you get stopped, you can always case for Izuna, and you can case for Draco if you have a level 5 like Femana stuck in the hand, or like if you want to play with it. Like Lucias plus Draco is a good combo because you add back the Femana, then you can use it again and all that good stuff. And also Izuna is quite strong because you can make Ripper, add Draco, special summon the Draco, like special summon the Lantern, whatever you have. So basically, no matter where you get stopped, you can extend. And the good thing is like, your opponent does not know what's in your deck. Like that's the important part of the deck. Your opponent does not know what's in it. Like they don't know you only want one trap. So if you set another Improm, for example, they assume it's the Horn because you haven't searched the other Dracotail trap. Or if you search with Lantern another case adds something, they don't know that you don't have any more Dracos. Like they don't know these kinds of things, but you do. And that's a great advantage for you. Meaning, for example, you open the Lucias, which gets Veilord or Ash, then you activate Case for Izuna, then they stop the Izuna, because they have to, basically. Then you can just make the Fiendsmith combo, which is really good, so you always get some interruptions. I believe I always played through 3 hand traps, I guess. Except once, because the hand was like 2 Lucias, 2 Case, and another card which was not a play. Can't tell you, don't remember, but in general this is basically like a called by the grave engine, and you can cut one out. And against Yami you take out all of them. You side out all of them, except for going first. For going first you leave, if I remember correctly, these 5, if I'm not mistaken. Need to look into it again, but the whole idea is like against Yami you don't need these cards, but then you still have the Fiendsmith engine to play Dracotail with an extended engine, because pure Dracotail is not good enough, or like not good enough by itself alone. And then hand traps. Need to play it. Like those cards are mandatory against Yami. And then also Impermanence, which is, it seems like, too few hand traps, which is 12. But then you have the Izuna, which is 15, and then you have the Femana if it pairs for 18. So as long as you're not super unlucky, you're able to play. Good thing against Yami, you also only need 1 Nibiru. You don't need anything else. Then you can most likely play the game. If you draw Nip as a 6 card this format, it's fine, because you can Nip on your opponent on your own turn going second. If you open one of the Charmies and nothing else, it's fine, because your engine, or like your deck is so engine heavy and has such high quality cards that it can always push. So 18 hand traps is enough. And if against Yami like Izuna is dead, so be it. Unless you open 2 Izunas, it's probably fine. Or like you open Izuna and Perulia and they both do nothing. It's fine. But that's what you're siding for. But getting into the extra deck, we're playing 2 Aphelions in different rarities, which has a purpose. Sounds stupid enough. I would like to play 2 Starlights. But I hate to explain to my opponent when I have both on the field, which is the one who gets banished and the other not. And then you can always argue with your opponent, and then I say, just summon the Starlight last turn because it's a higher rarity, and then I summon the Collector's Rare, and then me and my opponent always know which one gets banished, so there's no confusion. Sounds stupid, but it's nice to know. 1 Gulamir because of space, and 1 Secretarian Dragon to play against Dracotail better, and also to start Fiendsmith Engine, because you fuse him, he revives something, then you make Moon, and then 2 bodies for Fiendsmith combo, you know. So that's the Dracotail portion. You don't need more. Sometimes it gets rough on the 2 Aphelion, but if you play correctly, it should be fine. Then we're playing Moon, Requiem, Sequence, Agnum Day, finally Starlight, QCR, and I'm missing the QCR. Yeah, wanted the QCR, asking everybody for 2 weeks. I would also take the YCS stamp, to be perfectly honest, but sadly I don't own it. And then we're playing Valen and Ripper as the 2 rank 5s. Pretty good, especially when Yami runs hand traps. You can almost always make the Valen. And you're not always ending on Ripper, especially in game 1 if you don't know if you're against Yami. Then you're also sometimes ending on SP, like you link it off for the SP, which sounds horrible, But if you also have hand traps, it should be good enough against most decks. And in case you play against Yami, it's at least a good interruption. And then we're playing Typhon, my goat. So that's something. Usually I don't show the side deck, and the side deck needs to be improved. But I feel like for this deck specifically, it's nice to understand. I'm siding 11 cards against Yami. So Phantasma, Cherries, Magnemite. Then I'm siding 1 Metal Tronus for space reasons, to make it fit even better. 3 Drows, which are not against Yami. I'm siding in Horn, because Horn is the better card to set going second. You take out the Flame, you leave in the Horn, and also for going first. And because you're taking out the K9 engine, you need your Fiendsmith engine to be better. So I'm playing another Engraver and another Paradise, just so if you can't kill them, you can at least grind with them. And usually it should be enough. If you set this up and this up, you can do your things. And you also have more draw power, so it's fine to have a smaller Engraver package and the Snatchy. So that's the side deck. Rather simple, but you take all of these in against Yami. You take out all the K9 cards, the Flame and 1 Rahu, and then you should be set. Not sure if the Rahu is the correct card to cut out, like you need to take out 1 more card. Not sure, but that's what worked best for me. As mentioned, all the games against Yami were pretty good. Only problem were the games where it was just really unlucky, where my opponent top decked like the 1 bell to trade with my trap and then they can continue. Like unfortunate things, but there's a fine. Yeah, so that's the deck. I really love the deck. Probably will play it for the rest of this format. Maybe we will see what happens after Doom of Dimensions because of the new K9 card, but for now, that should be it. Thanks.